everyone again, it's Ife Omesiete, the Pediatric Nutritionist, and we've been talking about nutrition for moms and for babies. We've talked about before pregnancy, during pregnancy, and now baby is here. This is supposed to be one of the most exciting, joyful, and of course, explorative times in your life, especially if you're a new mom. And then if you're not even a new mom, you and I both know that every child is not the same. So you might have had a different experience with your first child and of course another experience with the next one. So let's talk about what are some of the realistic expectations, not just what's recommended, but the realistic expectations. The first one is breastfeeding. Now, as an advocate for breastfeeding and knowing the immense nutritional value that breast milk holds, it is gold. It cannot be replicated, it cannot be resourced. It's the best thing for your baby. However, not everybody has that luxury to breastfeed. Also, not everybody has the opportunity to do it and do it as long as they would like. Does that mean that you failed as a mother? No. Does that mean that your child is not going to get the best nutrition? Definitely not. Does that even mean that you failed in this journey of motherhood and that you should feel guilty and let the guilt eat you up inside? Please don't do that to yourself. The reason why this is so bad is because a sad mother, an unhappy mother, is an unhappy child. Whatever reflection of yourself that you feel is going to be the same reflection that you're going to be giving to your child. Now, I want us to get comfortable with the idea that some of us just can't do it. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. Where your focus should be on is the best way to feed your child. Again, a best fed baby is better than any kind of baby, be it formula, be it breast milk. So let's talk about some of the things that we can have as issues with breastfeeding. Number one, inverted nipples. Sometimes the nipples may be inverted and this could make latching difficult and hard. If you have this issue, my advice to you is definitely speak with the midwife, speak with the lactation specialist, just so they can direct you and give you the tools and resources to help get your breast milk out so that you can still provide it to your baby. Number two, exclusive breastfeeding does not mean breast alone. It can be from a bottle. Sometimes you need a break to sleep at night. Sometimes you want to go out and just, relax a little and let yourself be, because being a mom doesn't mean that your own world should stop. What that means is that you get the opportunity to let somebody else, especially your support system, help you look out for your child and breastfeed your child, right? So again, breast milk does not mean breast alone. It can come from a bottle. My advice to you is the earlier you can start that, the better it will be, dependent on who the child is and how they receive it, okay? Now, the next one is making sure that you're picking the right kind of formula for your child. Now, formula come in different containers, shapes, sizes, textures, and different formulations. It's so important that you pick the one that is best for your child, not what is recommended for your child, what is best for your child. It's not a one-size-fits-all. The truth is that formula, right, is under very strict regulations by their board, right? They have very specific protein content, carbohydrate content, fat content, vitamin content, mineral content. There's some basic things like DHA, FOS, which is human oligosaccharides, HMOs, and so many other amazing probiotics and prebiotics that should be included in formula, right? All of them typically have these things. So that it's not even really about, how this one doesn't have it or this one. They are expected to have those things because they are trying to match breast milk. Now, the choice is then dependent on how the child's system receives it, right? So you want to be just really mindful, start off with like 1 tin or so, a couple days a week. Follow the directions on the packaging if this is your choice, right? Follow the directions on the packaging. Don't think because this person did it this way is the way it should be done. Follow the directions on the packaging. Now, there is also something called supplementary feeding, where you feel that this is something you want to do to support your child while you are breastfeeding. It doesn't mean that your child is not going to get the best nutrition. It doesn't mean that your child is not going to do well in those first 6 months. What it means is that you are supporting your breast milk. And then for moms who don't have a need for formula, this is me telling you, keep doing it, keep going on, keep giving that liquid gold. It's the best thing that your child literally the best thing that your child would ever get from you, aside from all the love and the care. Why? Because breast milk is pure, breast milk is natural, and it literally matches every single child. Even when you have twins or multiples, the child A or child B or your second child or third child, the breast milk will be different for each one of them.
Some moments are just too beautiful. More beautiful when you have your family and friends. Some even go the extra mile as you await your bundle of joy. The Mo Baby Care gift set is the ultimate collection of baby skincare products to care for your little one's skin. Specially formulated with the best ingredients nature has to offer: shea butter, natural oils, and aloe vera, to give your baby that unique, mild, and soothing care. Mo Baby Care. Absolute care and nurture.
Like I was saying, keep going at it. Keep giving that liquid gold. Trust me, it's one of the greatest gifts that you can give your child, as long as you can do it. Like I said, don't breastfeed directly only from the breast if you want to get some help and get some rest. Now let's talk about some myths that I've heard when it comes to breastfeeding. One of the things that I've heard is that breast milk is not enough. It's not true. It is so enough. It is fantastic. It is enough calories, enough fats, enough protein, enough carbohydrate for a child within the first 6 months of life. It's enough. Now, one of the things breast milk doesn't have enough of is that it doesn't have enough iron. But this doesn't become an issue until the child has turned 6 months. So before 6 months, breast milk is all they need. They don't need water, they don't need fortifiers, they don't need juice, they don't need pap, they don't need cereal. Breast milk is enough. Now, if you're supplementing with formula, breast milk and formula is all you need. You don't need to add anything extra. Now, if you are giving formula and you do realize that your child may be suffering from constipation of any kind, then yes, you might want to offer water. However, the quantity of water that you're offering should not be more than 1/3 of the formula you're giving. What do I mean by this? If you're giving about 60 meals, you don't want to give more than 10 to 50 meals of water per feed. And in a whole day, no more than 100 meals. Because your child doesn't need water, they need nutrients and they need food. So please, please, please only give water if you notice that your child is constipated or backed up or in some kind of discomfort. Now, another thing that you can do is, again, it might not be the best fit formula for your child, so you can change it, right? But like I said, breast milk, formula, that's it. They don't need cereals, they don't need carbs, they don't need fortifiers. What you should do and what you should focus on is making sure that you are eating a balanced diet. And here's a trick I will tell you that a lot of people don't talk about. Did you know that one of the easiest ways to get your children to eat vegetables and enjoy the vegetables is to eat them yourself before you breastfeed? Yes, research has shown that at least up to 1% to 2% of what we eat is gotten in breast milk. That's why you don't drink alcohol when you're breastfeeding, and you also avoid certain kinds of medication. Why? Because it will get into your breast milk. So the same way those bad things can get into your breast milk is the same way the good things can get into your breast milk as well. So making sure that you're eating. If you want your child to eat ewedu, eat the ewedu to your heart's desire. If you want your child to be eating broccoli and kale and carrots and peas and green beans and fried rice and jollof rice, eat it, because they're going to be getting that taste from those vegetables and that meal in your breast milk. So when it's time to transition, you won't have that much of an issue. Now, another thing I'm going to talk about when it comes to breastfeeding is have good support. Speak to your spouse about the experience that you're having. Speak to your loved ones, speak to your grandparents, speak to your mom, your dad, whoever is going to be your support system about your experience. It's your experience. You are the only one who can provide breast milk. Let's be realistic. They can't do it for you. So you're the only one who truly knows what's going on. If you can't do it, let them know. Don't let anybody pressure you into this idea that if you don't breastfeed, you failed, or forcing you, adding pressure. Because one of the issues that we face, especially when I deal with moms who are struggling with breast milk, is that I realized that the stress, the mental stress, the heartache and the pain will decrease your supply. Yes, it's going to decrease your supply of breast milk. So you need to make sure that you are not stressed while you are breastfeeding. It will not allow you to breastfeed properly. If you notice that your supply is not meeting the demand of your child, hey, it's not the end of the world like I've been talking about. go ahead if you need to supplement with formula while you work on your supply. Now, there are also lactation treats that you can get as well, which are so key. Go ahead and do that. I've talked about some of them when I talked about before breastfeeding. They are now even more important while you are breastfeeding. Things like funnel wheat, things like lactation cookies, there's granola, there's so many options. And then of course, if it is a technical issue, maybe with your breast, the size of your breast, inverted nipples, speak to a lactation specialist so they can guide you and give you the tools that you're going to need to make sure that you can breastfeed properly. But like I said, if you find out that you've done all these things, you've given it your all, and you have a good support system, please don't disturb yourself too much about this process. A fed baby is the best. A fed baby is the best. That's what is most important. So enjoy those first 6 months. Make sure you're eating the things you want your child to eat if you're breastfeeding. Now, also, before I go, let's talk about breastfeeding and then formula feeding, but in the context of children who may have allergies. Like I mentioned before, you want to know your family history.
Visit www.morebabycare.com. More Baby Care, natural solutions for babies.